Welcome to the 3 ways to use Dreamwork for personal development workshop. Over the next 30 days, I am going to be guiding you through creating and crafting your own personal dream practice. So for the past, I think I've taught the previous masterclass series on Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming. I think we've done that twice. So I kind of wanted to get back into dream work, get back into metaphysics. I know a lot of people really like that information. But instead of really being gearing the information towards lucid dreaming, which I will talk about. Hello, Blackberry. Which I will talk about. I really wanted to talk about how to really just go about creating your own dream practice that could include lucid dreaming, that could include other types of activities as well as far as dream work relates. Hello, Lockpunzel. Welcome. Love the name. So really that's going to be the process that we're going to be going through over the next 30 days. So if dream work and lucid dreaming interest you, or even if it kind of, piqued your interest, but you haven't even dove into this, you don't know what to expect, it's perfectly okay. As long as you're open to it, then I will, I think everything will be relatable and you'll love it. Blackberry, hey, who is this? Blackberry, I'm not sure who this is. So of course we are going to go through housekeeping. If you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and fast forward to about the 15-minute mark as normal. I do have a few things to get into as far as housekeeping, but then we're going to get right into it. If you don't already have the workbook for this evening, I would advise going ahead and grabbing that. So you can tap the link in my bio and grab it. It's actually going to come with 2 workbooks. The first one is called Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming, and that's what we're going to start out with. And then the other workbook is Dreamwork for Personal Development. Both of them contain activities, exercises, the how-tos. They contain links to external resources, guided meditations, self-exploration prompts. So they really are a very good resource, a wealth of information. You can use them on their own. You can use them in conjunction with the video material that we are creating here, or even in the video material that is in the Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming course that is online already. So Tony's daughter. Okay, well, send me a message after this is over and we'll talk. But thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Grab a pen and a journal. It's going to be very interesting. Go ahead and get settled, So once again, those workbooks, we will be going through those over the next month. We're going to be applying them in various ways. They contain the how-tos and the daily reading materials. We're going to be working directly from it this evening, so you can go ahead and grab that if you all want that. Once again, it's on sale, $15.15 versus $22.22. And then the masterclass series for the Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming, the past material, which of course is still wonderful material. It has more than 10 hours worth of content that we've gone through over the past year and a half, I would say, regarding how to become lucid in your dreams and how to use your dream work, to accomplish various tasks. Hello, Alexis. Welcome. Go ahead and grab a pen and a journal or a piece of paper, something to take notes on. I'm just talking for a moment. I'm going to get through housekeeping, then we're going to go ahead and dive into tonight's content. But if you wanted that previous masterclass, that is available. So both of them are in the link in my bio, also in my stories. For the masterclass, it has more than 10 hours worth of content, and it also includes both of those workbooks, so you do not have to purchase them separately or anything like that. And if you get that masterclass, it's really going to be geared towards teaching you how to become lucid in your dreams. It goes through a lot of information on both lucid and non-lucid dreams, but it's going to be geared more towards lucidity versus what we're going to be doing over the next 30 days and crafting your own dream practice. So let me just go ahead and actually just jump right in onto housekeeping. I have my tea, some chai tea with mugwort. Mugwort does help with dreams, dreaming, having more vivid dreams. So We'll be talking about dream journaling and dream recall on Wednesday. So if you need to learn how to remember your dreams or get your dream recall up, I'm going to get you caught up on that as well. But let's go ahead and just jump on into housekeeping. Item number one, as always, is going to be interaction. As I'm going through the content and the information this evening, please feel free to interact with me. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, drop those in the comment section. You all know that this is a safe space and a safe place where we all come to do our personal development work. So you do not have to be shy about asking your question or whatever it may be. If I say something that you really don't understand or that you're confused on, hey, Kat, welcome. Go ahead and drop your question and I will be sure to answer it, okay? So my second housekeeping item is going to be sharing is caring. You know that my workshops are available for replay for 24 hours. After that, I do take them down. So they're going to go into the online school. I'm actually going to be creating a course just from this live material that I'm going to be going through over the next 30 days regarding how to craft your own dream practice. So probably next week, you'll hear me speak something about that. I'm going to put it together. It will include both of these workbooks and all of the video replays for all of the content that will come, over the next month. So you will have that. But sharing is caring is my second housekeeping item. So if you find this content and this information valuable, please feel free to share it with a friend, family member, loved one. As I always say, tell a pimp, tell a player, tell a friend, tell a hater, tell somebody in your upline or your downline. If you are here live, you can go ahead and tap on the arrow in the lower right hand corner of your screen and invite 2 or 3 of your friends in here, especially if you know that, they are interested in dream work and lucid dreaming and metaphysics. This may be the workshop for them. So this actual one will come off of my Instagram profile. And then next week, for the first week, the first 2 workshops, this one and the dream recall and dream journaling one, I'm actually going to put them on my YouTube as replays. So you will have that content that will be there, that information that will be there in case you need to refer back to these videos in the future. But the other videos will be, kind of bundled together with the workbook for that course. Third housekeeping item, which reminds me that I forgot to put my caption in the caption section. But my third housekeeping item is going to be the text list. If you want to join my text list, I do send out notifications 10 to 15 minutes before I go live. That way you don't miss anything. But of course, if you do, many people live, in other time zones, other countries. You can catch the replays, okay? The text list is going to be text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Next housekeeping item is going to be the workbook. So you do have the workbook. Once again, the bundle's going to come with 2 workbooks, the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook, and also the Dreamwork for Personal Development workbook. They are fillable PDFs. They contain all of the daily reading material, activities, exercises, links to external resources, all of that good stuff. So the first chapter of Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming is actually available for the free 99. So you can tap the link in my bio and go ahead and grab that. Just scroll down to the top resources section. If you don't have the workbook, I will highly suggest that you hop out of my live, tap the link in my bio, go ahead and grab that, and then hop back in here. Pull that workbook up on your laptop, your computer, your mobile device, because we will be going through it. And once again, I already told you about the Masterclass series regarding how to lucid dream. So that's up there as well. I think that is everything. Okay. So, let's just go ahead and dive into it. If this is your first time here, hello, body. Welcome. If this is your first time, don't let it be your last time. Allow me to briefly introduce myself if you don't know who I am. My name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach, mindfulness and meditation practitioner, and mindset guru. I'm here to give you the tips, tools, and techniques that you can use in order to create a positive shift and transformation in your life. Tonight is going to be the 3 ways to use Dreamwork for personal development workshop. And this is the first workshop in this series over the entire month of May that I am going to be giving on regarding how to develop your own personal dream practice. So if you're someone who's interested in dreams and dream work and lucid dreaming, that piques your interest, you're in the right place, okay? So don't forget to go ahead and grab the workbook. We will be going through that information tonight. So if you do not have the workbook bundle, hop out of my live, tap the link in my bio. You're going to scroll to the top resources section, and it's right there, $15.15. It's cheaper than lunch, not going to break the bank. And it's a wealth of information. Actually contains 2 workbooks once again. And then bring that up on your computer, your mobile device, your tablet. Well, not your mobile device. Pull it up on another device, you know, so you can read it and go through the information with me here now. But that is there for you. So what I briefly want to do, you all know that I love self-exploration questions and things like that. So let me see. I have a little, let's see if this is going to work. Here's our question. So I want you to take a few moments and just write down in your notes, in your journal, whatever you're going to be using to keep track of the information that you are learning over the next 30 days. And before we even get started and dive into exactly everything, before I put any ideas in your mind, I want you to take just a minute or two and I want you to think about this. What do you think a dream practice is? What do you envision it looks like? And if you feel open and welcome, go ahead and drop your comment in the comment section. I will add to the conversation, you know, and add to the information. So once again, don't be shy, but I understand. But if you are taking time to journal right now, which I do advise you to do, I just want you to think, you know, your notion of dream practice or your idea of a dream practice. What does that look like to you innately? If no one told you what it was, if no one put any other ideas in your mind or told you about anything, what would you just assume that is? Take a few moments and write about that. So, you know, for me, I'm just giving you a few moments. I know it's silent, but I don't want to put any ideas in your head while you are brainstorming, while you are writing this, you know, opening yourself up to this information and these practices and everything that we're going to be diving into. I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds. I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds for this first self-exploration question. It's just to prime you, of course, for the information and what we're going to be going through. So I'm going to give you just a few more moments. And if you need longer and you're watching this on the replay or you're watching this inside of the course when this comes out, then of course you can go ahead and pause the video and then resume it when you are ready. But what we're going to do, if you have the workbook, go ahead and pull up, once again, if you have the workbook or if you got the freebie, you're going to go ahead and turn to page 1 of the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook. And let me change this. Let's see if this one will work. So what I want to do first is I want to talk about the Temple of Asclepius, okay? Drop me an 8 in the comment section below if you have ever heard of the Temple of Asclepius. So here, I'm going to read just from the workbook a little bit. Asclepius is the Greek god of medicine. He was said to be so skilled at healing that he could bring people back from the dead. Individuals from all over the world would go to temples dedicated to the god in hopes that they would be healed. One of the practices in the Asclepian temples is called incubatio. It means temple sleep or dream therapy. The patients would go to sleep in a room called an abaton, where they would be placed into a hypnotic state. It is believed that the god or one of his children would visit the sick in their dream and reveal to them what needed to be healed. Upon awakening, the patient would tell their dream to a priest who would interpret it and give a treatment based on the patient's dream content. So in the past, many people had a deeper, I'll take this away. There were many cultures, many people, many societies had this deep connection to their dreams and the dream state. And really what we have in a Western perspective is what Andrew Holacek calls wake centricity. This perspective, or this identification with the waking state of consciousness, in a way that we like downplay the other states of consciousness, like the dream state or the dreamless sleep state, or the hypnagogic state, different liminal states of consciousness. In many other cultures, they value these states of consciousness the same as, if not more than, the waking state, as far as the, I guess, or the level of importance that is placed upon that state of consciousness. So it's very interesting. In ancient Greek, the temples of Asclepius, these temples where someone would be led into a trance, and I think normally it involved giving them some sort of drink, some sort of probably hallucinogenic, semi-hallucinogenic type of drug or drink, or even in, I'm not sure if you all have heard of the Oracle of Delphi. The Oracle of Delphi deals with another type of similar metaphysical practice, if you want to call it, dream work and lucid dreaming, another metaphysical practice called remote viewing, where the person who is doing the remote viewing, if you will, they engage with what is called a non-local state of consciousness, consciousness. So the same consciousness that is here for all sentient beings, but it's not personalized to them, and they're able to get information and glean information that they would not be able to understand or experience if they were viewing only from their bodily senses. And in those temples, the temples of Delphi, for the oracles of Delphi, the women, they would be in kind of like, what do you call it, a hammock? Like a hammock, like netting, bed type of thing that would swing over this fault in the earth, this crack in the earth, and these fumes would seep up, from the earth, and make them even more, in the zone, we will call it, the oracles. And the oracles were these women, as young girls, they were identified for having a type of psychic aptitude, if you will. And then they were trained, and then the oracles would advise the emperors on, war and what was going on, and harvest and political affairs. The spiritual person, like priests and things like that, traditionally they were kind of always advisors of the king, or the ruler or the emperor. They would bring that sort of information to the political power in order to be used for their purposes. Anyway, the Temple of Asclepius. So this is a temple where people would come to be induced to go to sleep. And, they would have a dream. They would tell the dream to the priest. The priest would interpret it, and they would receive healing based upon that dream. So go ahead and scroll down, keeping on that same page at the bottom. Let's talk about dream work. Dream work has various meanings for a variety of people. Typically, dream work is doing any type of process involving dreams, such as interpretation, incubation, spiritual practices such as dream yoga or sleep yoga. Also, I would still consider things like yoga nidra, and nidra is the Sanskrit word for sleep, but it's not exactly the same type of practice as sleep yoga, as in, like Tibetan practices, sleep yoga. I would still consider yoga nidra as a part of dream work as well, those liminal dreams. And we'll dive into more of this in detail as we go along. So if some of these terms you are not familiar with, it's okay. Just go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. I will explain if you need that. But continue on. Dream yoga is the practice of stretching the waking consciousness into the dream state, thus inducing lucidity. So lucid dreaming, I've talked about that plenty of times over the past 1.5 to 2 years here. Sleep yoga is the practice of stretching the waking consciousness into the dreamless sleep state. So you think about when you go to sleep, there are different phases of sleep. You get in that REM cycle. Many people know about the REM stage of sleep. This is where we have those kind of dreams that are the fully immersive experiences. You have a dream body. You perceive the self. You perceive the environment around you. You can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and, you know, do other things. But yeah, so that REM stage, but there's also other stages of sleep, you know, like the sleep that you kind of just perceive as a blackout. It's not really a blackout. It's just that the waking state consciousness, the ego can't go there. So the ego experiences it as a blackout. But the consciousness that is of that state of consciousness, like a state, and then, you know, the consciousness that is residing there, if you will, has that experience. But if you are relating to it from the egoic perspective, your name, who you are, my name is Aaron. If Aaron is relating to the practice of sleep yoga, for Aaron, it looks like a blackout because Aaron can't go to that state of consciousness. But we can talk more about that at another time. If that interests you, let me know. And, you know, I will make sure that over the next 30 days, I adapt the material to that as well. There's also liminal dreaming. This term was coined by Jennifer Dupere. I have her book. I will pull it out sometime. Liminal dreaming is being aware during the hypnagogic phase and hypnopompic stages of sleep. So the hypnagogic state is the state of consciousness, like this in-between state when you're falling asleep, but you're not actually already asleep. It's a very hallucinogenic type of state of consciousness. Many people hear things or they see things. They think someone's calling their name, or you even think about children when they're falling asleep. They see like a laundry basket over in the corner and they perceive that as like a monster, or they hear tapping under the bed, because the brain is kind of in between two states of consciousness. It has the waking state, which it still perceives because it hasn't completely let go of that. But then it also has properties or characteristics of that dream state, which is very emotionally and thought responsive. So if you feel something and think something, chances are there will be phenomena that you will experience that affirm that. So yes, let's see. Just on page 2, at the top of page 2, in different phases of sleep, there are various types of dreams. We just covered that. Not all dreams are narrative, linear types of dreams. Some dreams can just be images, sounds, or even thoughts that come and go. Not all dreams are the same, and they are not all experienced the same way by individuals. They do have common characteristics. And if you have the workbook, it says we will explore them and we will talk about different sleep phases and sleep cycles. So if you have the workbook, you can continue reading on, and you'll see that there is a graph on page 4 that talks about the different sleep cycles and how long, into your sleep are the different phases. But I want to go ahead and dive into tonight's content as well. So why should we even engage in dream practices? Why is dream work even a thing? Is it something for you? Is this something that you really want to dive into over the next 30 days? Well, let me tell you why I think that you should, especially if you are here on Higher Alignment, you're watching this video, you've been led here. Clearly you're into metaphysics and personal development. This is going to be, a practice that's right up your alley. You're going to love it. So I have 3 ways that we can use dream work for personal development, okay? So the first way that we can use dream work, hello, Kina, welcome. The first way that we can use dream work for personal development is identifying and understanding your fears and desires. Now, these are most of the time going to be deep-rooted fears, deep-rooted desires, and dare I say, hidden fears, hidden desires. And this is important on your personal development goal for many, many reasons. For one, your desires could lead you to a place where, you explore whatever it is that comes up. It's going to be personal to you. That could be different for different people, but you explore your desires, and if you take them seriously, that can develop into something that you never even knew that can completely change your life. and especially related to personal development. We're talking about new goals and developing new habits and doing new things and going new places and having new experiences, you know. So those could be shown to you in your dreams. When we're talking about deep-rooted fears, you know, maybe there is something that you're working on in life that you want to improve about your life or improve about yourself. Maybe you want to, you know, I always come back to the 7 areas of life: health and fitness, relationships, career, finance, personal development, spirituality, and recreation. So I always come back to these and say you're working on improving yourself in one of those areas. Say you're working on improving yourself in your health and fitness or your finances, you know. And maybe you have deep-rooted fears that you really don't even realize that you, or even relationships. In this example, and for this one, relationships is good. Many people feel like they want a loving partner, a romantic relationship, but maybe they find that they are single, you know, and they've been single. They they continue to get into these toxic relationships or these bad relationships, and things aren't going well. You know, maybe that's one of your really big goals right now in life, to develop that. And maybe you're going through that part of your personal development journey, and you see in your dreams, you know, they show you some fears. Hello, Photos by Honey. Welcome. They show you some fears, and maybe you have an internal fear that I am not lovable, or maybe you feel like you don't have the perfect body, or you feel like there's something wrong with you, you know, physically or mentally, you know, or anything in your life. But that's something that you haven't dealt with, you haven't addressed, but maybe it's like deep rooted down in there. That can come up in your dreams, because typically the things that come up in dreams, the messages that dreams have for us, are going to be information that we're not paying attention to in the waking state. So it is accessible to us in the waking state, but and some of it may be information that's not accessible to you in the waking state, especially if you have suppressed it, or if you have, you know, been ashamed of it and locked it down, you know, deep down. Then it may not be accessible to you in the waking state, but it still may come up in the dream state, because remember, in the dream state, this is the realm of the unconscious mind. Hello, Dominique. Welcome. So you can use dream work for personal development, because in identifying your hidden fears and your hidden desires, we could say, it's going to open you up to new opportunities to do new things, to go new places, to transform yourself, to become the person that you want to be. And, you know, once again, that could be different things for different people. That could be getting your money together. That could be starting a business. That could be moving across the country. That could be finding a partner, developing that romantic relationship. That could be getting your health and fitness together, you know, starting to exercise, or changing your diet, changing your lifestyle. You know, all of the things that we think about when it comes to personal development, living a life full of harmony, abundance, and well-being, whatever that looks like to you. Dream practices definitely have their place there. So that's the first way that you can use dream work for personal development. If you are taking notes, let me just read the energy in the room. If you are taking notes and you got number 1, everything that I've gone through so far, go ahead and drop me a number 2 if you're ready for number 2. If you have a question, you are not ready for number 2 because you haven't sufficiently understood number 1 or anything that I've talked about, go ahead and drop your question in the comment section. So once again, you know, this is a safe space and a safe place where we all come to do our personal development work. So you don't have to be afraid or ashamed of asking any questions. I know some of these topics and practices may be foreign to many people, but just want to read the energy in the room. See if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Are you smelling what I'm stepping in? Does it all make sense? Oh, my friends. Well, grab a pen and paper, Dominique, and let me go on to the second way that you can use dream work for personal development, and we'll catch you. We'll catch you up. You'll catch on quickly. So the second way that you can use dream work for personal development is to discover untapped potential and hidden talent. So, you know, we still have this element of the hidden that's going on here. So when we think back to, many people have heard of the term the shadow or shadow work, and we associate the shadow sometimes with negative things like those hidden fears, or I guess some people might also associate it with fetishes or shame, things that you are ashamed of, guilt, things that you feel guilty about, parts of yourself that you don't, what the shadow really is, parts of the ego that the ego feels unworthy of being shown the light of consciousness, get relegated to the shadow. So think about if you were a creative child, say you were a creative individual. Hello, Zach. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the 3 ways to use Dreamwork for personal development workshop. Grab a pen and piece of paper and come on in and sit down. Take some notes. So for the shadow, think about, for an example, if you were a very creative child, but you grew up in a very pragmatic family, you know, a family that valued order and logic, then say as you were growing up, you always heard, okay, you got to get your head out of the clouds, stop daydreaming, stop playing around, you got to buckle down, you got to study so that you can grow up and get a good job and go to college. And, you know, maybe you interpreted that as, you know, this creative part of me is not worthy of being shown to other people. So what I'll do is I'll fragment my personality and I'll show this part of me. I'll show the pragmatic, logical, structured part of me. But this creative part of myself, I will deny, I will repress away. And all aspects about myself that could even be related to creativity, I will just not express that. I will not express that, and I will relegate that to the shadow. And we think that those things go away, but they don't go away. In fact, they just drive our behavior from behind the scenes. So think about this. An easy way to identify something that you have relegated to your shadow is to think about someone who irritates you. Something about them just irritates you and aggravates you. This person is always getting on your nerves. They know exactly what to do, what buttons to press to tick you off. Many times, if we look at the characteristic of that person, and we're not talking about someone who has done something malicious to you, you know, like violated you in that type of way. We're just talking about someone you just find particularly annoying. If you look at the characteristic about them that you find annoying, typically what the ego does is it says, I am me and that person is them. And I am not like them. The ego says, me, I am not like them. And in order to maintain my identity, then I have to put up this distance between me and the object, or me and the other person. And the way that I do this is through judgment. I judge them and I uphold that. The ego upholds that I am not like that. So in the example that I just gave, it could be that, say you're at heart you want to express your creativity, but you just can't allow yourself to do it because of what you saw and what you heard and what you were told growing up. And then you get around someone who's very, very creative and they just allow their creativity to flow through them, and you find that particularly annoying. The reason why is because they're expressing a part of themselves that you won't allow yourself to express. And that part of you is seeking reintegration back into the light of consciousness to be able to be expressed, or, you know, to be able to be acknowledged by the ego. And sometimes these are, you know, there's many parts of ourselves that we repress or that we push away that get relegated to the shadow. They're not always like nasty, dirty things. Like when you think about shadow and shadow work, some of them and many of them are untapped potentials and hidden talents, exactly like in this example. Well, if you were to get in contact with that part of yourself and maybe you identify that and even do that through dream work, then you are allowing yourself to express that creativity, and that grows with you because that's a part of you that naturally wants to be expressed. And there's nothing wrong with expressing that. You know, when I think about this personally, I also think about sexuality. I am Black and I'm queer, and in the Black community and many communities, but many ethnic communities as well, the idea of queerness or the idea of gayness or whatever you want to call it we get put in that situation where we fracture our personalities, and then we show this part of ourselves to the world because we deem this part of ourselves. And for many of us, that can be, and it doesn't have to just be related to sexuality. You can think of something that you feel ashamed for, you just don't feel comfortable with. Sometimes we will overcompensate by, we'll say, for me, I was the intellectual. You can see by the books, and the overachiever. It's like, if I show this part of myself, to them, then they will overlook this other part of myself. If I show the intellectual part of myself, or for some people, it may be that they're very attractive. If I show the attractive, very well manicured and put together part of myself, then they won't look at this part of me. Or if I show this part of me, we don't show up authentically in our lives completely as who we are. We break ourselves into pieces and show this part and not this part. We accept this part and not this part. And sometimes, and many times when we do that, the things that we put away, the things that we tuck away, they're not negative things. They're just parts of ourselves that should be expressed. And when we learn to express that, it opens us up to more. So once again, this goes along with number 2. Discovering untapped potentials and hidden talents. So this can result in developing a deeper relationship with yourself, or bringing joy and happiness into your life. Think about if you identified, a new hobby or a new passion, something that like maybe you didn't know you were into photography, and you just keep dreaming about pictures, or, in the dream, things really show up as symbols and metaphors. They hardly ever show up as that exact situation. So I don't know why this is coming to me, but you think about postcards. Postcards are pictures. Say you're someone who would be interested in photography, but you haven't identified that. Maybe in your dreams, you keep seeing and being in beautiful landscapes. You keep ending up in dreams like mountains and, hillsides and the countrysides, or, something that would just make a really good postcard. And you start investigating that, and you're like, what, maybe I should, it could take a lot of diving deep, skipping, many parts. But maybe through your dream practice, we could say you understand and you begin to develop this creative aspect of yourself. You say, what, I keep having these dreams about the countryside and the mountains and whatever. What if I explore capturing this in some way? Painting or photography, or, so this can also result in increasing your confidence and self-esteem, and starting a business or a side hustle. I mean, how many of us, like, for real out here, we're trying to put a little change in our pocket. We would prefer the kind that folds, but we'll take, all that we can get. So dream work definitely has many practical applications. If you're someone who's into metaphysics and you're into self-exploration and you're trying to start a business, you want to go your own direction, but you don't exactly know what you want to do. Well, your dreams can also provide you a way of identifying and discovering what that could be as well. And then the last way that I have for us, my third way for us to use dream work for personal development, is to develop lucidity and influence the unconscious mind. So, when we're going through the intro, I did talk about how this really series over the next 30 days it's not going to be specifically geared towards lucid dreaming. We will bring it up, but if you're someone who's interested in lucid dreaming or beginning a lucid dreaming practice, lucid dreaming is the phenomenon which is not all out there. It's something that anybody can naturally do. It's realizing you're dreaming while you're dreaming. And when you do that, you are able to take control of the dream. You are able to learn new skills and practice talents and just practice and sharpen your skills. There were scientific studies on like musicians and athletes, and for the athletes, what they would do is they would ask the athlete to become lucid in the dream state and dream weightlift, and not weightlift and not exercise this specific muscle group in the waking state, but then test in the waking state if there was any increase in strength or functionality. And they discovered that there was. So you're seeing this, the neurons in your brain actually can't tell the difference between when you're awake and when you're sleeping. The experience that you have is the experience that you have. From the brain's point of view, it's all a valid experience. There's no difference. The neurons fire in the same way. So think of an example, a musician, a pianist, or a dancer. You go and you become lucid in the dream state and you practice those piano skills and you practice those dance skills where you're able to have direct conscious access to the unconscious mind. And then they find that there is a significant increase in functionality or an increase in ability that comes from these lucidity practices. And if we're talking about personal development and self-transformation, once again, I always have this framework of the 7 areas of life: health and fitness, relationships, career, finance, personal development, spirituality, and recreation. You can think of any of those areas that resonate with where you are and what you want to improve about your life. And think about it when you're talking about, I want to improve myself. I want to I want to practice self-development, personal development. What this, to me, in my opinion, means that I want to transform my lifestyle. Well, what does that mean? How can I actually accomplish that? Well, this means changing my habits. Changing the habits, changing the way that I relate to myself, changing the way that I relate to others, changing the way that I relate to the world around me, changing the way of things that how I think and what I do, how I engage. And this just comes down to thoughts, beliefs, and patterns of behavior. The same sorts of things that we talk about here on Higher Alignment all the time. We do journaling exercises to discover your thoughts, your beliefs, and your patterns of behavior. I advise you to have a clear goal in mind and to, really set forward a path to get to where you want to be. And I have various resources for you and tools and things like that. And one of those happens to be dream work. And you can do this in lucid dreaming. You can go into the lucid dream state and you can reprogram your mind. You can affirm to let go of certain beliefs. You can practice certain behaviors or put yourself in certain situations and practice the outcome, going through the outcome that you want. Say if you're preparing for a speech or a presentation or a recital or, just any type of situation, any type of training. So dream work definitely has its place for personal development. So don't forget, let me go ahead and pull this up for you. Don't forget, this is the cover page to the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook. We will be going through this information. That's where we read from today. So we talked about, the Temple of Asclepius and, just the beginning parts of dream work. And we went through the 3 ways to use Dreamwork for personal development. This workbook is a part of a bundle. It comes with 2 workbooks. They both are fillable PDFs. They have the daily reading materials, exercises, activities, self-exploration prompts, how-tos for different techniques, all of the techniques that we'll be going through over the next 30 days. They have links to external resources, guided meditations, solfeggio frequencies, subliminal affirmations. So if you really want to dive in deeper, I would advise that you go ahead and get this. And it also supports me and what I do here on Higher Alignment. So if you enjoy these workshops, if you enjoy my work and the information that I put out, please, support me by grabbing a workbook. And it's going to benefit you as well. It's $15.15 for the both of them. I've lowered it from $22.22. If you want to dive in even deeper and you want to specifically learn how to become lucid in your dreams, then check out the Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming for Personal Development Masterclass series. It contains more than 10 hours of information, and it also comes with both of those workbooks. You can tap the link in my bio. You can go to my stories to find either the workbook or the masterclass series. If you go to the masterclass series, even before you purchase, you can look through the course material. You can look through the lessons. You can look through the curriculum to see, the different topics that are covered and how long is each session. And that is $55.55. It's regularly $88.88. So I have dropped that down for you as well. Okay. So before we head out of here, though, of course, I have another question for you. I want you to, before we leave, I want you to go ahead and consider this question. And I would like you to write it in your notes. And hopefully, if you're planning on joining me over the next 30 days, as I guide you through crafting your own dream practice, this will help you. And I want you to keep track of all of the information and everything in one spot. So get a dream journal. Get a journal, and specifically you'll also need a dream journal. If you do need a dream journal, just go ahead and send me a DM, or below this video you can just type dream journal and I will send you a DM with a link to the dream journal that I prefer. It's very low cost. It's beautiful, gold line pages, very good quality paper. You're gonna love it, and it's gonna be a tool that you'll actually want to work with. I think you can get, I think it's like $11, $12, very inexpensive, something around there. But what I want you to do is, in your notes, I would like you to, from what we've talked about today, the 3 ways to use Dreamwork for personal development: identifying, understanding your fears and desires, discovering untapped potential and hidden talents, or developing lucidity and influencing the unconscious mind. Go ahead and take a few moments and just think about what is it that you would like to get from crafting your own personal dream practice. Maybe that might not be very clear right now. If you just have an idea, if one of the 3 ways that we covered this evening sticks out to you, you know, you can just start from there. And then as we move forward, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to develop it further. But perhaps there's already something. Hello, Stanley. Hello, Surwa. We're actually just ending, and this is our last self-exploration prompt. It's going to guide us and guide you over the next 30 days as I show you how to craft and create your own dream practice. But consider, what would you like to get from crafting a dream practice? Do you feel like you have some hidden fears or some hidden desires that you would like to identify? Is there something going on in your life where you would like to expand and like to grow, and you feel like discovering hidden talents about yourself, that would be important? Or maybe you want to have some fun, you want to learn something new. Maybe you want to start a business. You know, it could directly relate to your personal life. You know, so if there's something that's going on in your personal life and you're like, you know what, I think that maybe from what I've heard today, dream work would be an interesting approach to resolving and solving this issue and exploring this area, then, you know, identify that, or at least start to identify that, so you can gear the information that we're going to be going over the next 30 days towards that goal. Does anybody have any questions about any of the content or the information that we have gone through thus far? If you are good to go ahead and drop me number 8 in the comment section below. If you do have any questions, comments, experiences, I am going to give it about 60 seconds, and then we will I'll answer anything that comes up. And if nothing comes up, then we'll convene. Remember, this workshop will be available for replay on my Instagram profile for 24 hours. And I'm also going to post this on YouTube. It's going to be next Monday's video. So for this week, the replays will be up. So this one will come out next Monday. The video for Wednesday, Wednesday's video is going to be on YouTube anyway. So that one will be there, and I'll just organize them correctly. You are so welcome, Kina. Thanks. Sarah, yes, catch the replay. Send me a question. You can send me a DM if you have any questions. I'm pretty sure the individuals who are here in the workshop with you tonight, this evening, can tell you that I am very responsive, and I will answer your questions and give you directions to any resources that I can. Hello, Trap Sage. You're joining me just at the end. I'm actually about to close it down. Zach, thank you so much for giving me an 8. I really appreciate it. I haven't seen you here before. So welcome to the Higher Alignment community. If you like personal development and metaphysics, well, you're in the right place. Over the next 30 days, for everyone who is joining, over the next 30 days, I'm going to be guiding you through creating and crafting your own personal dream practice. So tonight's workshop was day 1 of that. So I went over 3 ways that you can use Dreamwork for personal development. So you might want to review that information and identify a purpose that you would like to use if you want to join me over the next 30 days. I'll be going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can join my text list. I do send out notifications 10 to 15 minutes before I go live, just so that you don't miss anything. You can text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979 text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word HIYER, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. But yes, over the next 30 days, I'm going to be talking about and guiding you through creating and crafting your own dream practice. We will talk a little bit about lucid dreaming. Make sure to check out my stories. There is the workbook that we are using over the next 30 days. It contains the activities, exercises, how-tos, links to external resources, guided meditations, all of that good stuff. $15.15. All of that is in my bio or in my stories. So yeah, just review this information. If you have any questions about the material, let me know. If I can help you in any way, just send me a DM. I am going to go ahead and head out of here. Also, one last thing. I know I keep having one last thing. If you need a dream journal, just drop me a comment below this video after I post it and just say, I need a dream journal. You could just say that I need a dream journal, and I will send you a link for the one that I like to use. It's like $12 or less, I'm pretty sure, and you're gonna love it. So I'm gonna head out of here. Watch the replay if you didn't catch this information. It was so good, and I will see you all on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about dream recall and dream journaling. So if you're not able to remember your dreams, then that's going to be the workshop for you. I'm going to give you tips on how to go from not remembering a single dream at all the way up to remembering 4, 5, 6 dreams per night. I will get you there. We're going to be on YouTube live Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can join the text list if you want a notification, okay? I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you all on Wednesday at 7.